Mahomes 2 series. He plays 1. Then they announce that he's going to play maybe to the halftime, and he plays half the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what's going to be. And this time, the third game used to be a real football game. And then the fourth game used to be interesting from the standpoint that there were some position battles. But now that seems to be almost all decided by the end of the 3 games.
Well,
and the fourth games are being played by a bunch of players who basically are already cut.
Yes, because they don't cut anyone anymore.
It's the most... Yeah, right. They don't cut anybody
there
until...
There used to be 2 cuts. I mean, there were guys who they get their walking papers before the fourth game, so you had to have players play the game. They're going to have 90 guys hanging around.
That's right.
They're going to have 40 of them play football who won't be a part of everything else. James Winchester is going to play it all, okay? Because he's got to snap it. And Harrison Butker's the only kicker. He's going to kick it.
I think it is one of the amazing things about the power of the NFL, which a lot of things make me shake my head and give credit. Like the NBA has grown in the last few years to a place where they have a special about the schedule reveal for an 82-game season.
Got to get those Christmas
most
games
of those
out.
games don't really matter in any way, shape, or form. And football is a beautiful game on television to watch. And if somebody's wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform and somebody's wearing a Carolina Panthers uniform, it kind of looks like a pro football game, even if everybody out there is not going to be a pro football player per se.
Well, they're pro football players while they're on the field. They're just not getting those big salaries, but they do exist there. That's what we were joking watching practice. And I'm like, there's 90 guys out there. They're professional football players right now. Now, they probably will never be on an opening day roster, never play in a game. A lot of these guys won't. But they'll be able to tell people, hey, man, I was in Chiefs camp. I got on the field.
Well, how about the guy? Who's the guy from the local guy who got cut early?
Caldwell, yeah.
Caldwell. I mean, he played a good football game.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll have that.
Well, and, I think they actually think he's a pretty good player. And, I think they cut him early to help him because he got picked up by the Bears. He's going to get a chance somewhere else. He wasn't going to be good enough to make this football team because this football team is a great football team. There aren't, talk to Teicher, 3-4 jobs available on this football team.
But the Bears are supposed to be a good football team.
Well, they're not as good as this football team.
No, they're not. But it does kind of make you, well, I don't know if he's going to make the Bears either.
Well, you can make the practice squad or something.
Right.
Listen.
No, but what I'm saying is
squad is
they can
hell
make
of a job now.
They can make mistakes.
The practice squad is a legit deal. I mean, you sit on the practice squad all year, you're making over 100 beans. I mean, that's right. That's good living.
I guess what I was going to say is that, certain people have their certain things, and this coaching staff always, and Andy Reid, he likes veterans. He likes familiar people. I think in the end, if a guy shows flashes at the running back position, which is a young man's position, why would you have Carlos Hyde instead? Ride it out with this guy. Maybe he is something. You're not going to lose anything if Carlos Hyde goes elsewhere and is cut.
When he fumbled, the first 2 tweets I saw about it were that was an experienced fumble from Carlos Hyde.
Well, here's what I thought about Carlos Hyde. I heard the guys talking this morning about it, and someone proven what is Carlos Hyde proven?
No, he's been in the league.
He had like an 800 or 900 yard year for the Browns, a horrible Browns team, right? A few years ago,
right? It's like a guy who averages 16 points a game.
A bad Niners team. But that's where he had that. Then he couldn't make it through a year with the Browns last year. The Browns were an improving football team.
He's had a pair of 900-yard seasons.
And
he did had 14.
It's literally the equivalent of somebody in the NBA, and Soren has used this phrase many times. On a 24-win basketball team, guy scores 18 points a game. 18 points a game sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to score the points. They're going to average 90. Okay,
someone's got to score.
Somebody's got to score. It's like Jeremy Lin when the Knicks were just god awful. He became a sensation. Now he's still in the league, I think, but he never plays.
Yeah.
He's at the end of people's benches. So I think they should. It's football. Guys can get hurt. I do think they need a little bit more football. I think if they didn't do any exhibition football, preseason football, I think more people will get hurt. But that's not the way they're going, and then they make an unwatchable product. They should be for those games. They should be doing what the Red Sox did for that rain game.
Carlos
$5 for adults.
We debated whether there was more action in the hour delay than there was in the first hour of the game last week, and it was Pretty close.
Do you know how many games the San Francisco 49ers won in the 2 years that Carlos Hyde had 900 yards?
5.
Total. They won 8 games. They won 2 wins and 6 wins. So that's basically your Jeremy Lin or something right there. They weren't a good team. I don't think Carlos Hyde's proven.
Jeremy Lin has a ring. He's up, Leabo.
I'm sorry. I was just using Danny's example.
No, but Jerry, I know he's at the end of the bench on these teams now. He never plays. So, Carlos Hyde is not proven. He's a name. He was, a second-round draft pick, I think? He was pretty high.
He went to Ohio State, so he's someone people know who he was.
Pick.
He was to a big school and all that stuff. He's fine, but he's not some proven back.
I guess that's my whole point, because this is a if a guy's not going to be a star, at running back you want a guy with some juice. He's fresh. I mean, he's fresh. He's eager. I'm trying to think of.
Doesn't look like some breakaway.
Who was the guy who signed at the same time as Sharkander Quest? This is stupid. I don't know.
Spencer Ware.
Spencer Ware.
Yeah.
Remember how much abandon he ran with when he was really trying to establish himself in the league, and he still was a good serviceable player for him. But you didn't see that. It was like he was there was steak at the end of he was a hungry dog, and there was steak at the end of the end zone there, and that's what you get from a young player and at that position, and if Carlos Hyde is a good serviceable player, maybe he can pick up the blitz. We heard Andy Reid say that. I talked to you about that. That's the other part about preseason football. And that's the part about how people talk about a guy's message can get stale for the players if he stays in a place too long. Now, the players don't stay around in any sport that long anyway, so it's kind of an old argument. But the thing is, I know exactly what Andy Reid's going to say all the time. There's nothing to hear.
That's how he rolls, Danny.
A young running back is not going to necessarily be in there because he can't pick up the blitz. I mean, yes, I know. I've heard that. That's true. So I would think the players, there must be, guys do fall asleep in meetings. Maybe so there must be some rolling of the eyes sometimes.
I think he acts differently around us than he does with players. I think that's for sure. But, yeah, the message is the message. They say the same things. I don't know. So the answer is yes, you love preseason football.
I watch it because it's what I need to do.
But you do love preseason football.
No, I don't. I don't love preseason football.
I didn't think Danny loved it.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here with Joe Spiker of Easton Roofing. And, Joe, oftentimes people will wait to replace their roof until there is a weather event. What should they know about that?
Well, Danny, the important thing to remember is if you're going to turn in a claim to your insurance company, you want to make sure that you actually have damage on your home. If you turn in a claim to your insurance company and they send an insurance adjuster out, it's going to be a claim whether they give you $1 or $10,000. So it's important to make sure that you actually have damage on your home before you turn that claim in. And all you have to do is give us a call. We'll come out, take a look, and make sure there's real damage, and we'll tell you if there's not. Maybe it's just a small repair and it's not worth a claim. So it's always smart to get somebody you trust to make sure there's damage before you turn in a claim.
Quality advice and guidance from Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
Welcome back to the program. We'll wrap it up. Hot take. Not Hetty's best song.
Ooh.
No. Actually, I like this better than Since You've Been Gone or whatever. But
yeah, I do too.
But they're both good songs.
I did own the album. I will say that.
Did you put any of this stuff on the playlist for the wedding? I'm going down for the last time.
Nope.
It's over.
Did not.
Save my life.
I think it's a good song. I like the song.
It's a great song.
I don't like it as much as many of Mark Knopfler's songs.
So here's the deal.
Danny's
been unleashed during the break. He's super excited. I don't know if you knew this from listening to the radio station for years. He loves Mark Knopfler.
I do.
And he's coming to town. He doesn't always come to Kansas City. You have gone many places to see him play.
Right. Well, it's
normally
almost
Chicago.
The last 3 tours he's done, he has come to Kansas City, which has been a slight disappointment
because you'd like to go places.
Because it's been an excuse for us to go elsewhere. But yeah, he's playing.
So he's got seats on the floor in the Midland, or is it standing room? It's old people, so it's sit down, right?
No, it's sit down.
Are you sitting downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Downstairs.
Yes,
How
spent
close?
Real money for. I mean, I saw the other day. This is what a secondary market is like. Even I say even for Mark Knopfler, he's selling everything out on this tour. He's intimated that it might be his last tour.
Well, he should call it the last tour and then come back and do another last tour.
But he won't say it for sure. Now he's saying, I love this, and he's not. He likes doing it. But I was seeing $975
in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe it's time for you to sell those tickets.
There's only
Danny.
a handful of tickets left. don't even breathe that to my wife right now.
We know she's not listening.
But if
to
there
this,
are there probably are a few tickets left, and I will just always say this: he is a stubborn old coot.
Yeah.
If he didn't go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction because he's done with Dire Straits, on this tour.
No Dire Straits songs?
No, he's playing a few more Dire Straits songs than he usually does. He only plays like two or three, usually. 2, 3, 4. This one he's more like playing 5, 6, 7. No Sultans of Swing.
Really?
At any show.
Maybe he'll play it in Kansas City for you.
He did 57 shows in Europe, and he's done about 6
It's
now.
like, I'm done with this song.
And then he's like, no.
So you guys know
That's
I love
dumb.
Wilco, right?
Right.
It's one of my favorite bands to see live. They're coming here in November, and they're playing at the Midland, and I'm going to go watch this show. And I think... I know I'm getting older now, and that Wilco is getting older. They're a little bit older than me, and they're mostly in their 50s. And Nels Cline, the guitarist, is in his 60s. They were at the Midland 2 years ago or last year, whenever it was, and it was like standing down, seats down there this time. They know no one wants to stand. We're all going to sit and watch.
Yes.
So my band just got old. We're gonna sit and watch the band now. That's what it is.
My band doesn't tour anymore. I got to watch the movie, the re-release of
They're
Rush's
not going
R40.
anymore. No more.
They're done. Rush's R40, their final tour. They
And
released
what-
the concert video,
did
but I
they-
got to see their last concert.
Did they
ever in
say
KC.
what was the reasoning?
It's a combination. Neil they're just getting old. Alex Lifeson's got arthritis in his hands, and
Because
Neil's
Peter
feet,
Frampton
hands
just came
are
through
going bad.
town. And
My
he
brother
had-
said it was awesome.
and he has a degenerative disease, and that's why he's announced.
My
that,
brother went. He said it was unbelievable how good he was.
He's I think he's a very. I do a podcast with Timothy Finn from the Kansas City Star every other Wednesday, and we talk about music, and we were talking about that leading up to his show. He's a very underrated musician because people just remember him for his unbelievable burst of fame and his curly blonde hair and the crazy stupid mouth guitar thing. He's done so many things since then. An instrumentalist. He's done all instrumental version of Beatles song, an entire album.
He's got
jazz,
if you
everything.
go find the new one. He does Georgia on My Mind instrumental. It's great, and his version of Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden instrumental is incredible as well. You should go listen to that. My brother's goal, like he tries to go. Someone comes through, it's like they're not going to maybe come through anymore because they're getting old or whatever. He goes and watches them. He said he saw Santana this year and Peter Frampton. They were both.
I heard
Frampton definitely
that
on
for
the
both
top
shows.
shelf of guitar players.
Absolutely. Very underrated because people just look at him as a pop star.
Danny Klingsale has been unleashed. We're going to put the leash back on and let him go. Thank you to Adam Teicher. Thanks to everyone on the 2 Minute Drill for coming on. Thanks to Pete Enoch for coming in. And Barton Simmons for coming on earlier. Thanks to Kurtis and Jed. We've enjoyed doing the program for you. We'll be back here on Monday. Petro won't be here. Enjoy the rest of your night and your weekend here in Kansas City.
Jed Marshall.
Do you have a friend called Drugs?
Drugs Delaney?
How many individuals named Drugs could you possibly associate with?
Todd Leabo?
Man, boss, these wind sprints are on the lot are getting me in shape for the big sale. These arms are ready to sign some deals.
Danny Klingsale.
Did anything go down on you?
Kurtis Seaboldt.
Derek Hellman.
Soren Petro.
This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like Easton Roofing, the presenting sponsor of Kansas City Profiles at the Danny Klingsale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingsale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new.